Hello, guys. I wanted to talk to you today about right-wing media and where it's going to go in a post-Trump era, given that we're moving into Inauguration Day in 2 weeks, and Joe Biden being the next president. I think it's important to think about where right-wing media goes from here. Now, in this instance, it's a little bit more. There's getting to be a divide within mainstream right-wing media, because it started out. It used to just be Fox News, and Fox News used to be the end-all be-all when it comes to right-wing news, and it largely still is. But since the Trump presidency, Newsmax and One America News has become more and more popular. And since Election Day, One America News has continued in engaging in conspiracies involving the election, and maybe some of them have potential truth to them, or have some merit, but that is the burden of proof has been. It doesn't sound like they do, because the court cases have overwhelmingly been thrown out regarding election fraud. And so, but the thing is that the president is still making these claims, and his followers still believe that the election was stolen. And Fox News, by trying to by accepting and embracing the idea of a Joe Biden presidency, Fox News has been bleeding support. They've been losing a lot of their more right-wing following. So you have Fox News has been on board with a lot of the election fraud talk from the get-go. And when I mean before the election even happened and Trump was making claims about mail-in ballots, Fox News was on board then. So their most right-wing, the strongest Trump supporters are turning against Fox News itself. And so you have One America News now starting to compete with Fox News, at least with certain demographics. Now, Fox News is still much stronger, but there's been a lane opened up right of Fox News, where people who are more like your average Republican, who is probably already supports Trump, but is going to at least not go down the rabbit hole of the conspiracy stuff too much, is probably still going to be watching Fox News. But lots of Trump supporters are fleeing Fox News. And on top of that, you have more and more social media restrictions. And what we saw back in October, or shortly before the election, with that Hunter Biden story from New York Post that got censored on social media, we're going to see continuing social media censorship from right-wing sources, even reputable ones such as the New York Post. So the right-wing news is in its own predicament, where the furthest right-wing people, the most pro-Trump people, are strongly still backing their president, and Trump might still have quite a bit of sway over further elections, and very well might be the Republican nominee in 4 years. So right-wing sources aren't really sure what to do with themselves either, because Fox is just facing a crisis similar to what left-wing media is facing, where people are continually getting their news more and more from YouTube and social media and other online platforms. So, but the thing is, when it comes to when it comes to conservatives, they already feel like censorship is coming for them more so. Your conservative voter is typically older and more likely to be using traditional media to begin with. So Fox is probably going to hold on to their number one spot, but they're being flanked from news sources who are willing to engage in alternate realities where Donald Trump is supposed to be continuing the presidency and going down the conspiracy direction. So Fox is facing it. They're in a tough position where they want to remain eligible to the other news sources. They want to be in a mainstream news club while holding on to Trump's base, because if Trump turns on Fox News, then that's 75 million people who voted for him. So that can really do damage to Fox News if they continue to. I mean, it's just unclear what's going to happen from here. We'll have to see if Trump makes an announcement that he's going to run again, and I guess they're going to talk about Joe Biden. So when it comes to Joe Biden, they'll talk about him, but they're going to continue down the line that doesn't really work. They're going to continue the narrative that Joe Biden is some kind of socialist who is going to expand government programs and government control over social programs, and he's going to do. I mean, the Fox News has been typically painting Joe Biden and like Bernie Sanders as the same. You know, they're both socialists, they're both left-wing radicals, when Joe Biden is very far from any kind of... in most countries, Joe Biden would be considered a Republican. He'd be right-wing or moderately right. It's only in our country that Joe Biden is considered left-wing. And so it's just... So if Fox News continues to make these claims that Joe Biden is some kind of a socialist, they're not going to get very far, at least with a younger audience. So we'll see what happens. Fox News is likely to continue to bleed their biggest supporters, and they're going to try to get back to the status quo, which was pre-Trump and now post-Trump. They're going to they want things to get back to normal, but then again, we haven't seen this kind of energy in the Republican Party. We haven't seen this kind of fervent energy behind one candidate, behind one personality since Reagan. So Trump is bringing out something new, and it'll be interesting to see where things go from here. All right, thank you guys.